Hi guys, this is Weekly from Weekly Disaster Games, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about what I want to see from E3, the top 5 things I want to see from E3. So let's just jump right into it. Now the first thing I want to hear about is I want to see some console announcements. Now we already know that Sony will not be going to E3 this year. It seems like they're trying to emulate Nintendo and really drive home their PlayStation Play announcements. They're definitely cool, and they did show some cool stuff at their last PlayStation Play, but even though we've gotten a little bit of info about the PS5, I just haven't gotten quite enough to really, I haven't really got enough to satisfy me. Now, as far as Xbox is concerned, they're still going to E3, and maybe they can, light a fire under Sony and kind of talk about their announcement. Now, what I want to see from the new consoles, well, I want to see specs, I want to see price, I want to see release date, and, I kind of want to see a 4K Blu-ray player. I know, that's mostly for me, but I really just want to see, some more information on this. See, the fact of the matter is, the consoles we have are great, but they're nearly 7 years old, and as a result of that, games, they have to be made with the consoles in mind. So you could have the best PC, you could have the best Xbox One X, the best PS4 Pro, but in the end of the day, well, you may not be getting the games you deserve because those games still have to land on the original PS4 and Xbox One in the end of things. So obviously, I want to see some more information. Definitely not the highest on my list for what I want to see, but, I really want that release date, because when we get that release date, just mark my words, things are just going to click into place. You'll get an Nvidia announcement later, new graphics card may come in 3 months before the consoles, maybe 3 months afterwards, something like that. A lot of next-gen technology on all spheres are just going to advance just that little bit more because they know that they have the tech to really utilize this, at least on the console side of things. And as a PC gamer myself, I'm excited to buy the next generation of Nvidia technology, the stuff that comes after the RTXs, and I can tell you right now, they are not gonna peep a single word on that until some of those new consoles really get into the wild. Now, again, to summarize, I want to get a release date on the Xbox 2, or whatever they may call it, and hopefully that will also prompt Sony to give out a lot more information on their PS5 that'll be coming out to meet them in the competition. Now, the next thing I want to see is I want to see an announcement on the From Software game. Now, it is rumored that there is a From Software game in the works, and, I definitely can see it. From Software has usually been a developer that they usually have at least 2 projects in them at a time. And I think we're going to get a situation with Sekiro where we just wait 1 year, maybe a year and a half, and boom, new From Soft game. Now, what I want to know is if we're getting one, at least a little bit of a tease, and I really want to know if, maybe we can get some confirmation on maybe was George R.R. Martin working on the From Software game, doing consulting for the story. If we can get some confirmation on some of those rumors, that would be pretty cool. It's always nice to talk about those rumors, but to really feel them and know that they're out there and that there is a bit of truth, that just gets really exciting. And personally, I really want to see what they can put out. So will we get a From Software announcement? I don't know. It's just something I want to see. So the next thing I want to see, number 3 on the list, will be a Square Enix conference. Now, we already know that we're getting one, right? They've taken Sony's slot. We just don't know exactly what they're going to show. We already know that they're probably going to show Final Fantasy VII, as they teased more information coming in June. And I think that's the biggest thing I'm excited for from them. Now, obviously, there has been rumblings about the Marvel game and the Avengers project, but, Marvel's cool. It's cool, but I gotta wear it on my sleeve. I really like Final Fantasy as a franchise. I like the original Final Fantasy VII, played it when I was 13, the whole thing through, and, I put in quite a few playthroughs since then, and I really want to see what they can do with the remake. Now, just because I'm excited for it doesn't mean I'm blind to, how Square Enix has changed since then. They may not have the best management skills, but I think we may have something a little special on our hands. We already know that Final Fantasy VII is on the Unreal Engine. We already know that Kingdom Hearts 3 came off of the Unreal Engine. and it looks like now that they're working with a stable tool set, maybe we might get some things a little bit more expedited. So I'm really excited for this. I hope we get more information. Again, I want to see a release date, and I honestly also want a little bit more clarification. We already know that they're going to be releasing this game in multiple parts, right? They've said that. We don't know if it's going to be a 2-part thing. We don't know if it's going to be a 3-part thing. There have even been some people that have speculated that it may be a 7-part franchise, and I mean, I don't know about 7 parts. I'm comfortable with 3. I like 2. I understand we do need to break it up because you really can't fit all of that into modern games. Like, that would be like taking all of Final Fantasy 15 with all of its DLC and all of its Royal Edition content, and then stacking in 50% more content with no bugs, bunch more cleanness, quality control, and whatnot. That would be like making that. That would be like what Final Fantasy VII could be. So I understand where they're coming from with making the multi-parts. It's not exactly something that I like, but I want to see what they can do with it. And if it means that we may get more enhanced quality, sure, I want to see it. So I want to know a release date. I would also like to know if, part 1 may go past a certain section of the game. I don't want to get into spoilers here, but from the footage we've seen of Final Fantasy VII, the remake, we've only seen a particular area of the game, and I would be slightly disappointed if it ended in that area of the game, personally. I want to see just a little bit more. People that are privy to the franchise definitely understand what I mean. I'm going to keep it no spoilers for now, so you guys that may never have played the game don't understand what I'm saying here exactly, but there's a lot more to Final Fantasy VII than what we've seen in the trailers. That is a fact, and I want to know if this first part of the game is going to cover more stuff outside of what we've seen in the trailer. But yeah, I want a release date. I really want to see what Square Enix puts out. And of course, there's also that nice little Platinum Games thing that they teased last year. Now, we didn't really get much footage. It was just a very vague trailer. Didn't really get to know anything. But, Platinum put out Nier Automata for Square. It was led under Yoko Taro, and I don't know if he's going to be doing this game. But, Platinum Games, they're like a shotgun. They don't always hit it, but when they hit it pretty good. And I do trust Square Enix in a Platinum Games collaboration, because so far they've hit it. So I definitely want to see how that goes. Hopefully we get a little bit more information, a little bit trailer on that. Hopefully the game's not dead or whatever. But I also want to see that out of the conference too. But in summary, I want a Final Fantasy VII release date. I want a little bit more confirmation on how they're releasing it. And, maybe like a little, tease on if they're going to go past the area that I would like them to go past with Final Fantasy VII Remake. Moving on, Cyberpunk. Everybody and their mother's hyped for this game. It's pretty obvious. I personally really like the idea of the game because I like first-person shooters quite a bit. And Cyberpunk, I mean, it's a pretty good-looking first-person shooter, and it could potentially be a replacement for Skyrim. Skyrim was a great game at its time, but we haven't quite gotten that next Skyrim. You can make a debate that Fallout 4 was supposed to be that. You can make a debate that Fallout 76 was supposed to be that. But outside of the Outer Worlds, which we'll get from Obsidian, I don't think that those games I mentioned earlier really did live up to Skyrim. And there are plenty of people that think Skyrim didn't even live up to Morrowind or even Oblivion. And you know what? I can't really blame them. And when I see Cyberpunk 2077, I'm thinking, you know what? This could be a spiritual successor to that style of game, but with that extra CD Projekt Red edge, I don't want to call it edgy, but it definitely adds more of an adult, mature tone, and I'm kind of down for that. So I want to see more gameplay, I want to see more information. We got a good amount when they showed it to us previously during the year, but I really want more information, and again, I want that release date. I really want to see, when it's coming out. Who knows? It could come out this fall. It could come out this spring. I mean, if it comes out this fall, that's Cyberpunk 2077 dancing with Death Stranding, the Kojima game. Can you imagine that? Imagine how crazy that would be. 2 giant juggernauts of games. We don't know if they're good. I mean, ideally these games will be good. They're being made by the right people with the right amount of money. But if we can really see this stuff, I mean, it's definitely something to be excited about. Or it could just come out in March and just crush that season next year. I don't know. But I want to see that release date because, gosh darn it, I want more good games to play. So that's just how it is. And the final thing on my list is a Resident Evil announcement. Now, I like Resident Evil a lot. It's a game series that I've kind of grown up with, you know. And I gotta say that I've played a bunch of Dead Space 1. I played a bunch of Dead Space 2. I played a bunch of Dead Space 3. That one, not so good. And of course, I played Resident Evil 4 a bunch. I played Resident Evil Revelations a lot. And kind of a survival horror nerd, if I'm being honest with you. And we don't really get them that much these days. I mean, we get them occasionally, but getting that nice, fine Resident Evil, ooh, it's really good. And Capcom has outdone themselves with 7 and 2 Remake. And I really want to see, you know, maybe they got something under the oven. Like, technically, Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 7 were co-developed at the same time. And who knows, maybe they might edge just a little bit of a teaser for whatever the next project is. Whether it's Resident Evil 8 or perhaps Resident Evil 3 Nemesis Remake. I would really like these things. Obviously, I don't think this is going to happen. A year seems a little too soon. But, you know, that's the nice thing about my list. It's just kind of what I really want to see. So I'm just going to put it right there and sneak it in at the end. So yeah, that's my top 5 things I want to see at E3 this year. You know, they say that E3 is dying, and I don't know. This could be one of the last good E3s. It's hard to tell, but hopefully they can really bring in, you know, just an explosive one, at least for this year. Let's let it off with a bang. And a Cyberpunk release date, Final Fantasy VII Part 1 remake release date, a new FromSoft game, you know, even a Resident Evil announcement, and of course, announcements for the new consoles. I don't think there could be any way you could send off E3 as a show. So hopefully, well, I mean, I don't know if I'm right on this, but hopefully we get these wonderful announcements. I'll be right there with you, covering it, if it does happen. And, you know, if none of these things happen, or only some of these things happen, I'm sure there's something I'm going to find exciting. And I'll probably talk to you guys about it a little bit later. So yeah, this is Weekly. I'm going to be signing out right now, and I hope all of you guys have a good one, and, well, let's all enjoy E3 together when it comes. See ya.